Right, we're live. So, welcome everybody to Unhinged Tech, the latest and greatest tech talk on Wednesday night. And of course, we have English Dan reviews here, a wonderful co-host, and then of course myself, Tech Odyssey. So, thanks everyone for showing up today. Whoever's here so far, we got Drew's here, Gary's here, Tobus is here, Jason. We got a couple people to start off the show. And all right,
Can you hear her? You're going to witness somebody choking out their wife in a minute.
I'm all done.
Yeah, get out.
Oh, she's behind a little.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we get started, why don't you tell everyone about your brand new setup you got today?
Well, I put it on Twitter before. So I got a brand new desk, 55-inch wide desk for $12.
That's
and
a good
then
deal.
I got, huh?
That's a good deal.
Hell yeah, it's a $150 desk. And then this thing here was meant to be $99, and I got it for $18.
That's really good.
Yeah, off that bid site. And because Gravex was making fun, Ryan was making fun of my smaller 4-foot desk, I had to go out and get this big schlong desk as it is, and now he can't make fun of it anymore. So
he was making fun of your 4-foot desk. I have like a 3-foot desk. I have like one of these tiny little baby desks. It's just and marvel your Spider-Man chair.
Come on.
Everybody is marveling at your Marvel chair.
Look at that. Isn't that the best thing ever? He's just mad, bro. He's just mad.
Did you get that for $18 or would you pay for that?
No, that's $150.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, mine I got mine. It's like cyber power crap. It came with my desktop whenever I bought it.
Home all make the same ones.
It works for me. I mean, I like it. It's comfortable. I've been using it about a year. Haven't had any problems.
This actually is nowhere near as comfortable as good as it looks. You know, it's not built for fat dudes, put it that way. So I probably need to lose 50 pounds to stop it from digging into my fat thighs. As you can hear, it whines as well because I'm sat in it.
It's whining because you're so heavy.
It's like, oh boy, I'm not built for you. So,
oh goodness gracious.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow is a big day.
Yes.
Tomorrow is a real big day. And since I talk too much, I'll let you tell everybody what the big day is.
TCL 10 Pro tomorrow. We're getting them.
Yes.
Reviews won't be out. We're not allowed to let the reviews out until the 14th of May. Can you hear this? Let's get the WD-40 out. All right. But we can show you pictures and things from the phone and give us like general idea of what we think of it. But
so we can do our unboxing and first impressions and some general information and stuff. But as far as the heavy lifting, getting into a lot of the detail stuff, I guess the embargo date on that is like the 14th, which is really weird. I've never had it done like that before. Usually they send you the phone and like, okay, you can't release anything until the certain time and date to be determined. And now they're like, here, you can have it, you can show it off, but you can't go in and do your full review yet. I mean, which is fine. I mean, I've been really excited about this device. I got to see it when I was out at CES. So I don't know if this was the original time they had in mind for launching it because that was back in January. I don't know if it got pushed back, but super cool. And I guess this one only comes in 2 colors? It's like green and black or something like that.
Yeah, like a gray color. Yeah. I think we're all getting the gray color. So
yeah, we're all getting the same color. So if you paid attention to Twitter,
KK less than $500.
If you paid attention to a lot of people's Twitters a couple of days ago, like everybody had the 10L all over the place. Expect tomorrow that you're going to have the 10 Pro showing up all over the place. And even today, some people did get theirs today. I guess they were shipping out from California. So, whoever's closer to California, I guess some people got theirs already. Like Juan Bagnell, some gadget guy. He was doing a live thing on Periscope on Twitter with his. So pretty cool.
Yeah. Looking forward to it very much. I think that that device, I put it on Twitter before. Now OnePlus has gone away from bargain devices. I know they've got the OnePlus Lite to come out, but it ain't here yet. TCL have got a real good chance to step into that void right now for people looking for a phone with a really nice display, a decent camera, good size, and snappy. I don't know how snappy this Snapdragon 675 is, but we'll find out.
765 or 675? I can't remember.
675.
Yeah, it should still be good. I mean, the 6 series processor is fine. and the 670 is what was in the Pixel 3a and 3a this last year.
Yeah.
And the year before that, the 660 was in like it was in a Nokia phone, or it was in a Motorola phone, and I think
also in the 10L.
Yeah. And then also it was in like the BlackBerry Key 2. So the 660 is actually it's a nice processor. It's got a good balance of performance and power, but also battery power too.
I agree with you there, Drew. I don't see the OnePlus Z coming out here. It's going to be an Indian phone. I'm pretty sure of that.
Let's see, here we go. Tobus. Yeah. So tomorrow, according to the rumors that we've been seeing online, May 7th is the day that they're going to announce this Velvet officially. I think that's only going to be in South Korea, though. I don't think that's going to be in the U.S. yet. You might maybe see some major reviewers that have it. I don't know. They've been very hush on it, and I even talked to them on Monday, and they said Monday was still too early for me to get one. So, I mean, I'm definitely down on the low tier of getting a device to review, but I don't know if they sent some out to maybe like Mr. Who's the Boss and Super Saf and like Mr. Mobile, like people like that. Maybe they might have one tomorrow. Maybe somebody like Lou. But I'm still waiting to see when it's going to come to the U.S. But I'm really looking forward to the Velvet for sure.
We're talking of Lou. Did you see his new video today?
No, what's it about?
Right. You know how Apple released the $700 Mac Pro wheels?
Yes.
He made a skateboard out of them. Yeah. That was good.
Yeah. I'm going to go watch that. You know, so he did something interesting last week, and I guess he's in a position that he can do things like this, where basically he released, I don't know if it was the same video with two different thumbnails, but it was like one that says
don't buy, do buy.
Yeah, and the negative one that says don't buy actually did like
double the views.
Yeah, it did substantially better than the one that said go buy it. So I mean, I know people. There's 9 million of those videos out there that say this is good, go buy it. But having somebody reputable like that, like if I put out something that said don't go buy the iPhone SE, I doubt it would have had much impact on my views. But for somebody like him,
yeah,
that's a big thing. So it was very interesting to see at the negative spin. Don't go buy, whatever. I don't remember what the language was, but it was interesting. So
it was literally said, "Don't buy the iPhone SE." That's what it said. So
yeah, I mean, now that with the wheel, I thought it was already out. I saw a picture of him. He was talking about, there's a reason to buy them or something like that. I didn't actually click on it. But
it literally takes the front off a Mac Pro, the cheese grater, and then attaches the wheels to it.
Oh, goodness gracious. That's just ridiculous. Like Joe says here, that is one expensive skateboard.
Well, what are you making? Did you see how much he makes a month on average? It's insane.
I know it's a lot. I mean, are you talking about looking on Social Blade?
Yeah, even if you take the middle figure out of that.
Well, it's already popped up. Unbox Therapy's YouTube stats, Social Blade. Let's see.
Because normally with mine, you can go right in the center, and that's about right in the center.
Good gosh. So you look at this is such a big swing. We're talking 17,700 to 283,000. Like, how do you have a gap in there between? So
like I say, you go middle of the road, you're probably not far away.
His channel has an A-, which is pretty good. I got upgraded to a B. I was sitting in a B-, so I'm actually a B now.
I was a B+, and now I've gone back down to a C. It's like, come on.
You sure it's not your bust size? I know you put on some weight.
You like these pets?
Let me see.
I hear my child screaming.
If you split the difference on my Social Blade, it's still a little on the high side. But either way, I mean, maybe like 40% of that, but still, I mean,
that's massive.
Yeah, I know he makes probably $3 million a year.
Oh, it's got to.
I mean, we're just talking about YouTube.
That's the YouTube revenue.
That's not any sort of sponsorships. That's not. I mean, it's just, yeah. He makes a ridiculous amount of money for just doing videos, which I mean, hey,
Fair
that's
play to the guy. Fair
I
play.
I would like to be there one day.
I would like a quarter of what he's got. I'd be quite happy.
You know,
10%.
if I could pull in $3,000 a month on YouTube, I would just do that.
Absolutely. Without a doubt, because then on top of that, if you're pulling that much and you're getting the views, so you'd have all the sponsorship, you'd do probably 3 or 4 of them. I mean, like the email we got, imagine getting 4 or 5 of them a month.
Speaking of which,
YouTube.
I haven't heard anything back from her after
I haven't yet.
but we'll see. Whatever. All right, let's see what's going on in here. So a lot of people apparently seem to be really interested in the TCL device. The TCL devices are cool. I was really impressed. I was supposed to get one of the TCL 10L devices, but apparently mine fell off the truck, and there wasn't a whole lot of them. So I'll get one. I'll get one in like June, which I mean, whatever. But yeah, so the Pro, really excited about it. I did get to spend some hands-on time with it briefly when I was in Vegas in January. Okay. So Joe's making fun of himself. So if you don't know Joe, Joe has a tech channel that's coming in the summer of 2019. You should go check it out. Subscribe now. So
I sent Joe a package last week. He borrowed me a cell phone, very nice of him, and I returned it to him. And in the line where he gets name, and then the second line it says company, I put coming summer 2019.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. I mailed off. So I bought a brand new video card for my computer, and Joe decided he wanted to buy my old one. Well, I ended up going to FedEx because the post office was just a complete nightmare. So I went to FedEx so I could mail it, and they like made me stand back from like 6 feet from the counter, and I had to talk to the lady so she could put the stuff in. And I didn't want to deal with the confusion of being like, oh yeah, put Joe Hussey, coming in summer of 2019. So had I written it on there myself, it was in my mind to do that.
Well, so, I did
it. Oh goodness. Yeah. So the 10L, a lot of cool things. I like the cameras, that macro lens. I've been wanting a phone that has a macro lens for a long time. And if you don't know what a macro lens is, it's that special camera lens that lets you take pictures of things really close up. Because normally when you have your phone camera, the closer in you get, it kind of gets blurry. The way that those camera lenses work, you can get like super close. You can get those crazy detailed shots on like water droplets, on flowers, on bugs, some cool stuff. And the only mainstream phone in the US that's had one so far was the OnePlus 7T that came out at the end of last year. So it's cool that these are now, even though they're only like 2 megapixel.
That they've now downgraded on the OnePlus 8.
They downgraded?
Yeah. Yeah, the OnePlus 7T has a better macro lens than the OnePlus 8.
I heard that the OnePlus 7T has a less good, I think, wide-angle lens than the 8 does.
Yes.
So the 8 downgraded the macro, but it upgraded the wide angle.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Whatever.
I almost went and bought a 7T like several times because I was interested in the macro lens, but I never did. I was just kind of holding out till the OnePlus 8 came around, and then it's like, oh, we want an astronomical amount of money. And I'm like, not going to buy it.
This here, to me, reminds me so much of a OnePlus device. So much, apart from the software, but the actual build and everything and the phone itself, it's so much like a OnePlus. It's weird. These guys, if they dumped this software, and I'll do this in my review, I'll let you know, but the software hinders this so badly. But if they just stuck regular old Android on there, this phone would be killer. And it really does remind me of the OnePlus devices.
You could tell people what the device is and who the manufacturer is.
It's the Nubia ZTE Nubia Red Magic 5G.
Say that 5 times fast in conversation.
I know, right? Great names that they keep coming out with. But I mean, this thing is crazy fast. Fastest phone I've used. And then you get this red button on the side here. And this is like the button. It's like, whoa, you press this and it does all kinds of.
Is that like the old turbo button they used to have on PCs?
Yeah, look at this thing. I've just pressed it. And then all this comes up.
Graphic. That's cool.
Huh?
So yeah. Special graphic.
Yeah, it just totally changes, and you add your games. And this thing plays. I've got the xCloud preview, so I can connect the controller to this. It's fantastic for that. Absolutely great. Yeah, so as a gaming phone, it's so good, but I don't know whether you can see any of that. But you can change your fan speed. It's got an actual fan inside it, and it's got two little vents on the side where it actually blows out. And then when you're in this gaming mode, this thing happens.
So that way, people know you mean business.
Leave me alone.
It's like turning your hat around backwards when you get ready to play basketball.
Yeah.
You mean business.
Yes, and the screen on this thing is insane. It is one of the best screens I have ever seen.
So is that an LCD or an OLED?
OLED, 144 hertz OLED.
Did they roll with the Quad HD Plus or with the 1080p?
1080p.
And that seems to be kind of the thing. I think we're still waiting on the Samsung patch to come out that's supposedly going to give us 120 hertz at Quad HD Plus, which is just asinine. I think the prices seem like they've stabilized a little bit. Yeah. Actually, Joe has a really good point. That phone, it matches your personality.
It's big, it's brash, and it's full of and it blows a hot air. Yes, I agree.
If only it liked fried chicken, y'all could go get married.
I swear, me and this would be like, So I'm going to turn the red button off now, and it'll go back to normal. See? Bink, done.
Interesting.
If you've ever driven an M series, an M5 from like 2006, 2007, that has an M button, and you press it and the seats all transform and come into racing seats.
You're talking about BMW?
Huh? Yeah, the BMW M5 from a few years ago. Oh boy, that thing was nasty.
You know, I've never actually been in a BMW before.
You know, in England, people in America, no offense if you drive a BMW, people, I might offend a lot of people here right now, but in America, people drive BMWs and they think they're something special. BMWs in England, what you pay $8,000 for here, you pay about $1,600 for in England. Everybody's got them. It's like people's first and second cars. My dad's disabled, it doesn't work, and he's got a 2016 4 Series BMW. Everyone's got them. They're so cheap over there. Cars over here are stupid money.
There's probably a ridiculous import and all sorts of taxes that they pay to get those things over here because, you know, they're German made.
Yeah, but they're also a bit different as well because they're all-wheel drive over here, a lot of them, which they're not in England. They're rear-wheel drive. They're fun.
Huh. I know that.
Yeah.
Well, I drive a Ford F-150, so I'm not quite in the...
I drive a Toyota Tundra, so, you know.
Yeah, I'm perfectly happy having a truck in it.
I like my
We'll say hello to Jess there real quick. And then, yeah, so I've been interested in those Red Magic phones. I mean, the 5G one that came out, they're only like $549 brand new, aren't they?
It's brand new.
Yeah, that's crazy because it's got the latest and greatest. Like it's 5G. It's got the 865. It's got is it 8 or 12 gigabytes of RAM?
This version's the 8 plus 128 gig storage, but you can get a 12 256 as well for $679. Something like that.
Yeah, that's just crazy. And the 144 hertz refresh rate. I mean, my gaming monitor, I'm looking at right now is 144 hertz, and I totally love that when it comes to gaming. And what's nice now with my new video card is I'm playing like Call of Duty in 2K, playing like Apex Legends in 2K, and I'm getting a 2K resolution. I'm getting 120 frames per second, and I have 144 hertz refresh rate. It's nice.
Yeah, that phone, excuse me, I'm old. That phone is super smooth, like silky smooth. It's as fast going through the UI as the Samsung Ultra.
So did you put a different launcher on there, or because you said the software was really holding back?
Right. There's an app that you can get called Activity Launcher. It's this one up here. You can't really see it. Get it off the App Store, and what that does, you go into it, and it allows you to look at the hidden options within the software of Red Magic OS. So it normally comes with this big square blocky icons like Samsung used to have that look like, you know, Lego blocks.
Yeah.
But you go into this activity launcher and you find the menu. You can choose round things like that. Change all your icons, change your theming, change your background. For some reason, Red Magic have locked this off from you. You can't even change the launcher on this. It won't allow it. It does not allow it. And there's the contacts in this. Contacts from Red Magic does not grab your contacts from your Gmail account.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How in 2020 can you not import your contacts from Gmail?
Yeah, it's stupid. So I ended up, big advice, if you're going to go out and buy one of these, go and get Activity Launcher. and then go and get the Google Dialer and get Google Contacts and Google Messages, and your life will be quite a lot better with this phone. It's just so held back. The equalizer doesn't work. The built-in equalizer in Google Play Music, it tells you to, I've got nothing attached to it, and it says detach external audio devices before it will work.
So sounds like it's a little. I'm sure they'll fix some of that stuff with software patches.
There's a massive list of issues software. I mean, massive. So I am.
This is what I was laughing at.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, there's some sidebar conversation on here. So we're talking about the Google Pixel 4a, which has yet to make an appearance. I know that the last couple of days or last week, there's been some pictures making the rounds that were leaked out from the Pixel 4a. I haven't even looked at them yet. Honestly, I'm just kind of staying in the dark when it comes to this new phone. Like, I'm just gonna wait. When it shows up, it shows up. And this phone has been kind of rumored for like the last 6 weeks now. We thought maybe it would show up in April, and then we thought it was going to show up like May 5th or like the first week of May. Yeah, so looks like May 22nd. That's what I
all right, because it makes sense because the sale ends on the Pixel 4 line May 20th.
And you were saying that last week that you thought it was going to be at the end of the month because after that sale ended.
Yeah, they're going to clear out as many Pixel 4s as they can because they know once the 4A is in the carrier stores, they're probably not going to sell an awful lot. I wouldn't be shocked. I know T-Mobile did this last year, but I wouldn't be shocked if you didn't see any Pixel 4 phones in carrier stores. They'll just be the Pixel 4a.
And I wouldn't be surprised by that either. And of course, the 3A and the 3A XL, especially the 3A, turned out to be really, really good phones. I'm actually planning on trying to make a video because I do have a Pixel 3A XL here to go ahead and look at that now a year later. So whether it gets any traction or not, I don't know. But I've been playing around with it here. I've got so many phones that I'm juggling for things right now. I've got that Unihertz Titan. I got the iPhone SE, and then I pulled the iPhone 10 out of the dresser. So I'm going to do a comparison between the iPhone 10 and the SE. Just, I know there's people that are curious about looking at the older phone, any reason to switch over, stuff like that. And then, of course, the TCL phone is going to be here tomorrow. So it's just so much stuff with devices lately. I haven't even been able to get around to some of my other reviews.
Did you ever hear back from them?
Who?
Mr. Gwynn?
Oh, no. No, I did. I sent an email last week to the PR guy with Google, and he couldn't even be bothered to return my email. So,
me neither. That's the last time now as well. I won't even.
Which is, whatever. Yeah,
I don't know if it is, but it's just ignorant. It's like, come on, dude.
What gets me is like, whenever you reach out to some people, I wish that they would just reply and say no. I would be fine with that. But the fact that people just don't even reply, and maybe that's just narrow-minded looking at that, because he probably got 500 emails in the last week about the Pixel 4. So, yeah, well, they don't do that by name, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that are probably asking him about the phone. So,
but just anyway,
just to put it in, I guess, a little bit of perspective. There's been some like people on Twitter that have large accounts that I've messaged before, and then like finally, like 6 weeks later, I'll get a reply, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, just now seeing this. Sorry, I've got so many stinking messages. I didn't realize you wrote me back or whatever." So, whenever you have a lot of traffic coming in, a lot of traffic's a lot of traffic. So, who knows? But it still doesn't mean that I can't be pissed off at him for no reason.
Yeah, I don't do it anymore. That's it. I am done trying. So,
yeah. So, if they weren't going to do a 4A XL, they should have made one in the middle. I think this is going to lead into a new device strategy for Google. I think they realized that the smaller phone, the A series, people really kind of lean towards that versus the larger one. And then a lot of people really like the larger size screen with the flagship phone. So I wouldn't be surprised if they yank the 4s off the shelf and they only have the 4A, and then they still push the XL model. And then whenever the fall rolls around, I don't think we're going to see a Pixel 5 XL. I think we're just going to see a Pixel 5 that has a larger screen size, and they're just going to roll with one phone like they used to.
which they should do. It's a much better strategy by them as well, because then they can concentrate on one device. I think they struggle when they try and juggle the small device and the big device and then the A line. It's just the Pixel 4 this time around was just whose idea was it to put a 25 milliamp hour battery, 2500 milliamp? Huh?
It's 28.
Was it 20?
Yeah, and it still sucked. And I had somebody
got 1800, and it's still,
I had somebody who wanted to argue with me on Twitter yesterday, trying to say that the Pixel 4 has way better battery life than the iPhone SE. I'm like, one, no, the iPhone SE beats the Pixel 4, and two, it does it with 1,000 less milliamp battery. Because I had made that post where I said, surprisingly, I'm getting 4.5 to 5 hours of screen on time with the iPhone SE 2020 compared to the Pixel 4, which is complete trash. And then apparently that inflamed a few people, which is fine, whatever. I had 8 screenshots from 8 days in a row of battery to back it up that I decided to blast on Twitter. But yeah, I was getting 2.5 to 4 hours. Like 4 hours was like turn 90 hertz off, turn on. Like I could not get 3.5 hours, 4 hours out of that thing to save my life.
The XL was like that though when it first came out. You're looking to get 4 hours screen on time when the XL first dropped.
When I had the XL, I think I was getting about 5 hours and 20 minutes, and that was max, and that was after a couple of patches. Because I originally went with the 4, and then the battery was just so depressingly miserable on the 4 that I sent it back and I got the XL. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be in the best interest of Google and their devices moving forward, just because, they can't seem to manage to get it right, and two, they undercut their sales because one, people don't buy the Pixel. They didn't buy the Pixel 4 because it sucked. People didn't buy the Pixel 3. Everybody bought the 3 XL. So then when the 3A came out, it sold like hotcakes, and then nobody was buying the 3. And then they can't discount the 3 any further because then they're going to undercut sales of their 3A, which is newer. So they just put themselves in a bind.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see what the strategy is when they drop this eventually.
Well, I think it's going to be really interesting because we have a lot of things going on this month. So in the month of May, we're talking Pixel 4a possibly. We've got TCL 10L, TCL 10 Pro. We've got the LG Velvet coming out. There's a lot there, and typically Google likes to kind of release their stuff now in May, so they're kind of isolated. Don't really have the fallout from the iPhone, but then Apple just released the SE 10 days ago. So now they got to compete with that. And the SE is serious business at $399.
No, without a doubt. You see all these people making fun of it because of the big bezels, and I can understand it, but these people have got to realize that the iPhone SE isn't made for people like me and you. It's just not. It's not aimed at me and you. Me and you wouldn't normally look at a phone like that. It's aimed at somebody on a contract who wants to pay peanuts for a phone, somebody who wants a phone for the kids, things like that. Honestly, people who seem to think that purists are going to go out and buy it, they're not. It's just not the way it is. It's not aimed at us. So
yeah, there was a whole lot of, I guess, what it seemed like kind of phone elitism to me whenever the phone came out. There was a lot of people that, one, didn't buy it, or two, weren't even planning on buying it. They were talking tremendous trash about this device. I'm like, it's good. And it's great for $399. And I've legitimately been using it as a primary phone for the last 10 days. The only reason I switched is because I put my SIM back in my iPhone 10 so I can test out the battery life and refamiliarize myself with it and do some camera samples to compare them. But legitimately, I like the iPhone SE better than the 10. I like the traditional form factor. It's not really to the point where it seems retro at this point, but seeing as we've had 3 iterations of the buttonless phones now, there's a little bit of form factor nostalgia there. It reminds me of like the original iPhone, and I kind of like it.
Touch ID is great. I wish they didn't get rid of that on the iPad. The iPad is horrendous for it, that facial ID, because if you haven't got it the right way, it just struggles like hell, and you got to be right looking at it.
Well, maybe your iPad just doesn't like looking at you, Dan.
That's probably why you don't own one.
Yeah, I did have one. I did have the.
You have one actually. You just bought one, haven't you?
So I had a Pro, and I bought the Pro, and this is my 5th iPad. So this is my 5th iPad in like 6 years. But the thing that gets me with Apple is they're so expensive. And that's one of the reasons that I love the iPhone SE, because it gives me everything that I want, absent the battery life, for $399. I had an opportunity. It popped up for sale, the 32 gigabyte iPad 2019 edition, regular iPad, first generation Apple Pencil support, $249. I bought it, and it's fine, and I'm okay if that sits next to my bed and doesn't get used, because I only paid $250 for it. When I have an $899 iPad Pro sitting there, it irks me that it's sitting there not getting used, so I feel like I need to sell it while it still has value. But as long as I have a tablet, I don't really upgrade them. I'm not much of a tablet person. So the fact that I got it for $250, it's not going to give me any heartburn. I'll keep that sucker next to my bed for 3 years and won't use it, but I won't go buy another one.
Did you get LumaFusion?
Well, no, I don't have the tablet yet.
Oh, it's not here yet. Okay.
No, it wasn't shipping till like the 13th or the 14th, but I actually surprisingly got a notification today that it shipped. So it could be here by Friday.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I just want something. My wife, like inside my bedroom, we have our TV at the end of the bed, which is fine. I stay up till like 2:00 every night. She goes to bed at like 11, and it drives her crazy that the TV's on, which I don't blame her whatsoever. So I bought her AirPod Pros so she can use those to turn the sound, like the active noise cancellation. So she goes to sleep with the AirPod Pros in it at night and like a pillow over her head. And yeah, so she doesn't have to see the light from the TV and doesn't have to hear it. Well, that was one of my selling points. Like, look, I've got this stand. I'll just prop it up on the side of the bed here, and then I'll just turn it on, and I'll have my earbuds in, and it'll work out great. So it's going to get used.
The wife does that with me because she has to have a TV on. So what she does, she falls asleep with her iPad. She turns the brightness down, volume's down dead low, and that way it doesn't wake me up.
And that's what I have a hard time falling asleep. I can't shut my brain off at night. So it's like I'll be there till 3:00 in the morning, and then it's like, crap, I got to make myself go to sleep. So about an hour before I get ready to go to bed, hour and a half, I'll turn the TV on. I'll turn the volume down, and then I'll set the timer so it shuts off. But that still irks her. So we're going this route. And actually, I got her Mother's Day present. I picked her up an Apple Watch Series 5. They had them for sale.
That was such a good deal.
$299. Yeah. So I picked her up an Apple Watch Series 5. I didn't even unbox the sucker. Like I get so much stuff in and out now. I don't even care. I've got an Apple Watch Series 4. No interest in upgrading to the 5. I'm not even using my 4 right now. Like I've been using the iPhone.
Sold it.
I like them. Like Apple Watches, like watches in general are cool, but I get tired of wearing them. I don't want to wear. It's just
I just wasn't doing anything with it. It was just sat on my wrist, and I didn't use it for anything. Nothing. It was just a watch. I was like,
all it does is sit there and bark at me and tell me I need to stand up, and I don't exercise enough.
Right. Breathe. There. It's like help you out.
So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, 2019. I'll probably do an unboxing video on that. Majors. Adam has a brain. Yeah. I do have a brain.
Where?
Hey, I have 2 associate's degrees and an expired EMT certification. I'm really intelligent.
And what are you doing with them?
Well, I do also have a bachelor's degree and a law degree, but
yeah.
I don't like to lead in with that. It's like, I watch that TV show Frasier all the time, and every time, like, there's in season 3, he has his boss, and she's intelligent and witty too, and like whenever he's talking to her, he's always like, "Oh, at Harvard," and they're talking later on. She's like, it's really impressive. She's like, what? It's like how you manage to fit the word Harvard in every conversation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just tell people I have 2 associate's degrees.
Today, did you see Microsoft dropped for the first time in 3 years a new Surface Book 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Surface Book 3 that looks identical to the Surface. Exactly the same, but obviously upgraded innards, and that sucker's expensive this time as well.
They dropped the Surface Buds.
What are them things? It looks like you've got coasters in your ears.
Aren't they like $200 too?
Yeah, $199. They're DOA, and then they brought out Surface headphones 2 in matte black.
I actually heard that the original Surface headphones sounded good.
Yeah, they did sound very good.
Yeah, I heard that the Surface headphones were really good.
$350, they weren't really good, though.
Well, what's going to kill those is in a couple of weeks or whenever Apple goes ahead and announces their new headphones that are coming out, they're just going to crush them.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. But yeah, like Joe says, all them Surface Books, you can get them now. Even the small 13.5, you can get it with a GTX 1650 graphics card.
It looks
And the
good.
yeah, that's perfectly fine. And then the big one, the 15, this time is coming with a 1660 Ti 6 gig graphics card. That's going to be pretty good.
So I have I have my my Asus laptop, Republic of Gaming laptop. I bought it last year. I paid like $11.49 for it. You can get it at Best Buy right now for like $8.99.
It's funny you mention that. I've been looking at that list the last 2 days thinking, do I not?
Oh, well, maybe I'll sell you mine then. I can buy that camera.
Oh,
So
there you go.
it sits around and doesn't get used. I have a 2017 Surface Pro that I got, the i7 with 128 gigabytes of storage. I paid like $1,400 for this thing, which I legitimately use that.
Yeah, I use my Surface Pro every time I had one. I loved them.
Yeah, and there's no reason to upgrade it. It's perfectly good. But I did buy that gaming laptop, but then I bought a gaming desktop because I was spending so much time on it, and I was sitting at the table, and it's a small screen and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's got a 1080p screen, 120 hertz refresh rate, the GeForce 1660 Max Q Ti Max Q, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabyte SSD. I mean, it works great. It works really well. And yeah, I paid $11.49 for it, but right now $8.99.
$99. Open box, $800. It's like, what?
And it's such a steal of a deal because it's so good. And if you're into gaming, you can play anything in 1080p, like max settings with this, no problem. Absolutely. And that's what irks me. I bought that MacBook Pro 13-inch 2019 model like 2 weeks ago. It was on sale for $11.99, so I paid like $12.90 for it, which whatever. But looking at the new 2020 MacBook Pros that just came out the other day, the 13-inch, they didn't refresh it and up at the they didn't make it 14-inch. There's no dedicated graphics.
Those are exactly the same as what the one you had, pretty much, with the new keyboard.
It's the same 8th generation processor. They just added the Magic Keyboard to it, which, I mean, I hear really good things about the Magic Keyboard.
Did that one you have 4 USB slots?
No, it only had 2. And
right. Because the same with these, the $12.99 and $14.99 only have 2, but then if you go up to the $1,800 version, you get 10th gen and 4 USB-C.
Oh, here we go. I got a new fan here, Garrity. I'm glad you found my channel. Thanks for watching and thanks for yes. Yeah, here we go. How could the 13-inch Surface with the 1650 be more expensive than the Razer 13? Which is
the pricing today is way out. I mean, have you seen how much the 15-inch 1660 Ti version is?
What do they want? $27.99?
Something like that. It's like insane money, all the way up to $4,000, I believe. You can pay for it.
But I tell you what, though, you're probably going to get it. What, you get an i9 at that price?
Yeah. No, it's an i7. Let me check. Well, it's an i7. I don't think they did an i9. I think that.
You probably get 32 gigabytes of RAM. You're going to get your 1660 GeForce in there. I mean, it brings a lot to the table because you can do pretty much whatever with it. Versus my problem that I have with the MacBooks are, you talk about a MacBook Pro 2020 model. You look at the base entry model, you're looking at $12.99, and you get an 8th generation processor that's in there, and then you get the Magic Keyboard. Basically, the only improvement on the base models is that Magic Keyboard. But I did use that keyboard and with the butterfly keys on it, and I really didn't like it. So I'm glad that they are incorporating the Magic Keyboard. I think it's probably worth it. It's just you expect better.
So the Surface Book 3, the 13.5-inch model, starts at $1,600. You get the quad-core i5 and Iris graphics. If you want the 1650 Max Q graphics, it starts at $2,000 for the 13.5-inch.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. It's just
I will say one thing here. Like Joe points out, the Max Q. The Max Q is a little underpowered versus the regular, but it doesn't matter though. When you're just running 1080p, I mean, if you're trying to run like 2K or Quad HD graphics, yeah, you're going to need a little bit more. But a 1660 Ti Max Q is perfectly fine with that.
In the old G5 from a couple of years ago, running the 8th gen
Intel.
Yeah. That thing flew through everything. It was fine. The Max Qs, a lot of people kind of look down on them, but
they're good.
Yeah, they're great. Don't be put off by it if it says Max Q. It's just to help with the thermals. That's all it is. So
yeah, but
in actual game time, you lose maybe 3 to 5 frames a second. That's it. So
yeah, and it saves you on battery life, and it saves you on heat production as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll see. I don't really when you get into stuff like Microsoft actual like Surface products though, and you get into like Apple products, you're paying like an extra grand for the name. Like when it came to the 13-inch MacBook Pro, I was looking at it. If you want the i7, it basically starts off at $21.99, but then that's with 1 terabyte hard drive space. If you want 4 terabytes, they charge you an extra $1,000. Like it should be criminal.
Oh, it's a joke. It's like RAM for this iMac I'm using right now. I'm going to buy RAM for this in the next couple of weeks. It's going to cost me to go up to 16 gig. It'll cost me probably, I'm either do 16 or 32. It's going to cost me between 100 and 200. If I wanted to do it through Apple, it's like $800.
Yeah, that's just the way they do that is just completely out in left field. I don't understand how they can get away with that because you're charged. So you're telling me that the difference between 1 terabyte and 4 terabytes is $1,000. It probably costs them an extra $5.
It's going to be nothing. But the one thing I will say about them is I was always dead against MacBooks. I thought they were overpriced, and they are overpriced, but they are very high quality made. That's one thing about them. Everything is kind of perfect on a MacBook. Everything works. The hinges are really nice. The screen just looks
everything about it's nice. And I'll say this: I bought a 2012 MacBook Pro in 2016, and I used it for 2 or 3 years, and it still worked like a champ. Now, if you try to do that with a Windows PC, if you go buy a Windows laptop, like a mid-tier Windows laptop, that sucker is not going to work well 3, 4, 5, 6 years later. They're good for like a year or two, and then they just kind of go down the tubes. I don't know what it is about those like $600 to $1,000 Windows PCs, but they just don't hold up well. No. The Macs, on the other hand, but I want to segue into this question that Gary has here about what does the MacBook give you that the iPad can't do? And I think that question is very relevant now, especially now that they have the Magic Keyboard available for the iPads, because they effectively
I'm trying to stop myself from buying that. Because I've got the 2020 iPad Pro 12.9 now, and I use that sucker. I have had this iMac now. Is it 3 weeks I've had this iMac?
And you've just used it to let your son watch movies?
Yeah, and I've used it once with Final Cut Pro to edit the last, not the thing I released this morning, the nothing video, but the last video I did, I used this. And I could let this go, totally let this go, if Final Cut Pro came out on the iPad.
Well, if you pay attention to the leaks and what's going on,
yeah, they say it's coming, but there'll be something that you've got to buy with your iMac, like some stupid stand that will activate it, and it'll cost $1,000. They're not just going to give you Final Cut Pro on the iPad, because if they do, it's going to absolutely massacre MacBook sales. It really will. I love my 12.9-inch iPad. I would use that right now for the stream if I could plug my Logitech camera into it.
Well, it's so dumb too, because with it irks me to no end that they put out these $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000 laptops that still have the same 720p webcam.
I mean, do you want me to change to that right now and show you what this is? Yeah, watch this. Click of a button. Got to wait for it. There's the camera quality.
Hey, there's Potato Dan.
That is a $1,800 iMac web camera.
Oh, goodness gracious!
Yeah,
you've been replaced by a potato with a white and blue striped shirt.
And what gets me is in the front of this thing here, the iPhone. Why not just put that camera in the bezel? Don't tell me it's too big. It fits inside this thing. I mean, how can they not put this? And your new MacBooks that have just released still have this same camera.
I can't look at this. I mean, you're already a train wreck. You're like a train wreck that ran into a kid's school.
I mean, that is horrendous. And then there you go, a Logitech webcam.
There we go. Yeah, here. Important public service announcement from Dave.
Yeah, it was abysmal. You're right. Anybody who buys a MacBook and intends to go streaming or do any kind of webcam chat or anything, you need to buy a webcam, because the one that comes in it, as you've just seen, it looks like I cannot say what it looks like because this is G-rated. Use your imagination, and if you've just seen it, then you know what it looks like. It's terrible. It looks like
it's so bad. And the thing that gets me is that if it were only like $1,000 laptop, or like if you only put the cheap webcam in the lower level laptops, I would be more okay with that. But the fact that you can buy, you can spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on one of these things, and they still put the 720p webcam in there. It's just insulting to me. It's like, why? There's nothing that you're getting performance-wise out of a $1,500 MacBook Pro versus a $3,000. Hardly any, because most of it is you're paying an extra $1,000 for storage, and you're paying an extra $600 to $800 for memory.
And these new MacBooks that have just come out, right? The refreshed MacBook 13. If you're going to go out and spend $1,300 on that new MacBook Pro, don't. What you want to do is go and buy the new MacBook Air that's going to be cheaper than it. Get a 512 gigabyte SSD, upgrade the RAM to 16 gig, and you're still going to get a quad core i3, which is just going to do whatever you want it to do anyway. I know, I saw it. That's why I was giving the old wind the finger out and then wind it back. You know what I did with your phone, Joe, before I sent it back to you? D's.
Let him use his imagination.
D's.
You know, I got to say, anyway, so Joe has Joe's channel that's coming in 2019. I guess that he was really getting ready for 2019, because he has a lot of devices. So Joe is actually being kind enough to send me out his Razer Phone 2, so I can play around with that for a little bit, and of course send it back in immaculate condition. But I totally love the Razer Phone 2. It was a great deal. I think it was just ill-fated because, of course, Razer. People, I think, realize that there's no real thing as like a true gaming phone. The Snapdragon 855s, 865s, 845s, they're so powerful that there are no games on the phones that you need this so-called gaming phone to be able to run things. So I think people realize it's kind of a gimmick. And Razer, just couldn't swing it with trying to rebrand the old Robin phone that they put upgraded internals in. But it was a cool phone. I had bought one on that $399 fire sale and totally loved it. But there were so many other phones that I needed to review. I played with it for like a few days, and I returned it just because I knew it was going to be sitting there and not get used. So yeah, Joe's sending that out so I can play with it and make a video with it. So that's cool.
$249 just before Christmas, that did.
Yeah, and I wanted one. I still almost.
Yeah, they still sell for more than that used now.
I had one in my cart, and so many times I think I actually even clicked the button to order one and then ended up canceling, because I have so many phones sitting around. It's ridiculous. And you and I were just talking about this yesterday. I've got this iPhone 10. I got that LG G8 that I sent you. I've got this OnePlus 6T. I've got my Samsung phone. I got this LG V60. I just can't be buying these phones that I want. They're going to sit there that I'm not going to be able to use. So it's just that's why I don't have a Pixel 4 XL as much as I love the Pixel 4 XL. If I can get an actual camera, and Dan and I have been talking about this last few days, I'm thinking about buying a Sony A6400 that I can use to start recording my videos, because right now I record all of my videos with the Samsung phone, and the Samsung S20 Ultra has the most amazing front-facing camera that I've ever seen in a phone. As much as the back camera sucks, the front camera is really good, and it allows me to be able to make my videos, and I'm happy with it. I plug my SSD drive into the bottom. I transfer the files over, lickety split, good to go. I can't do that with the LG. The LG front-facing camera is not as good. I'm hoping to pick up one of these 6400s and switch over to that so I can quit being reliant on Samsung phones and I can just have a good camera.
If what I was speaking to you about before, if you go for the one that's body only,
$899.
Just let me know, and we'll do that, and we'll do it for store pickup.
Okay, well, yeah, that would work out better.
I'll save you nearly $200.
Yeah, I had tried to go online. For any of you who don't pay attention, I'm retired from the Air Force. I still have my privileges where I can buy stuff from like the on base store.
You get some great bargains on that as well. That is amazing. That place at times, iPads on there go for peanuts sometimes.
They do have good deals sometimes. And I went on there and I looked last night because Best Buy was out, and I was curious because I can get tax-free the product. So I was going to buy a 6400 on there, and they don't even sell it. They got the 6100, the 6500, the A7, A7 II, all those. They don't have the 6400. And then they sold out with the $999 kit at Best Buy. They only have
$11.99 and the $8.99.
Yeah, so I do want to get one though, and roll back some. So Dave says, you don't need these crazy gaming phones, and that's why the Asus Republic gaming phone going down the tubes. That's why the Razer phone. There's just not a market. There was maybe 3 years ago,
Still a gimmick, no matter what.
Yeah,
really is. The only thing that's great about this is the price. Dave, you'd like this. It's very much like a OnePlus. So
Gary asked when I'm going to use my green screen again. Yep. I might do that here sometime in the future. It's going to have to be the right video. The reason that I haven't been using the green screen, other than it doesn't look completely natural, it's very frustrating using the green screen because when you're reviewing phones, the way the green screen works is it basically you put the green screen behind you, you set the chroma filter on your software, and it will make everything that looks green whatever the background is. Well, unfortunately, whenever you're using a phone and you turn it and it catches a reflection of the green screen behind you, the editing software turns whatever your screen is on your phone to the same thing as the background. And it was causing a lot of distortion issues. So if I'm ever doing a phone video, I can't use the green screen, period.
Go ahead, Leonard.
Yeah, sure. We'll wait for the question here.
Yeah, it'll take 10, 15 seconds to come through. But yeah, they are the same. But what I will say is, like I say, this little red button, Joe, you press this, I can overclock this and everything. The fan on this sucker is loud as well. When it's fast charging this, the fan comes on to keep it cool. It really does charge fast.
Doesn't that have super fast wireless charging, though? It's not the 45 watt, but isn't it like 35 watt?
I've not tried it wireless charging, to be honest. Couldn't tell you. Not really looked into it that much yet. So it's just, Dave, it isn't all
charges, period, it comes on.
Huh?
Yeah, it says it charges up to 55 watts. So there's no wireless charging. So yeah, that's why it kicks in. 55 watts is some serious charging power.
That will charge up a MacBook.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, you could literally charge your MacBook up off it. So
yeah, that's totally crazy. That's a lot of power.
Yeah. And Dave, like you say there, the EU units are affected with terrible software issues. So are the American ones, bro. They have crippled the device with absolutely horrendous software. The software on the Red Magic 3 was pretty decent. It was pretty good. But this, I don't know what voodoo or kind of vodka they've been drinking, but just it's pants. There's your question.
What view, guys, on the SE20? What is the SE20? Like you're talking about the iPhone SE 2020?
Yeah, I think so, because he mentioned iPhone up above.
I think that the iPhone SE 2020 is a totally good phone. If you want some more information on it, I did an unboxing video. I did a 72-hour impressions review, and I did a full review on the phone. I like it. It's worth every penny of $399. The only concern is the battery life. But even me, being a heavy phone user, without having to do anything crazy, just the normal adaptive brightness that's on there, I'm getting 4.5 to 5.5 hours of screen on time. Like 4.5 is about when I get to 20%, but it'll die at like 5.5. But camera takes solid pictures. You've got the portrait mode for the front and the back, which is all software enabled and surprisingly works really well. The product red edition looks great. The white and black, those look good too. It's got Touch ID. It's got everything you could want in an iPhone with that A13 processor, 3 gigabytes of RAM. It's totally worth it. If you have an iPhone 7, an iPhone 6S, an iPhone 6, an original SE, totally worth the upgrade. If you've got an iPhone 8 or newer, it may not necessarily be worth it because there's not a whole lot of difference you're going to get there.
The only thing that I would say there, just to jump in quick though, is if you have got an iPhone 8, if you want a phone that's going to get 5 years of updates from now, it's worth upgrading from the 8.
Well, the other thing too is because of the A13 processor and the newer antenna, you do get your band 71 LTE in there. You're going to have expanded network coverage, and we all know that the iPhone antennas suck. So there are some legitimate reasons. You've also got the 3 gigabytes of RAM instead of the 2. It will be more future-proof, 1, because of the processor, but 2, also because of the software updates because it's new. So, and I think they're getting like...
You still get that killer video.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, just 460.
The video on it is going to be amazing. It's just like your 11 Pros, so you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, so I think if you come from a smaller series device like an 8, 7, 6 series, there's definitely some merit to upgrading. But if you've got something else that's larger, has better battery life, I mean, it's not necessarily, may not be worth picking up unless you just want it. I enjoy it just fine, but there have been some mixed stuff, and like Dave says here, he's getting 3 to 4 hours of battery life. And I mean, you can diminish the battery life even more if you're sitting there running something constantly, like video, media, stuff like that. It will eat up your screen on time faster. So you could definitely kill it faster. But with normal stuff, social media, browsing, casual YouTube stuff, I mean, you can get 4 to 5 hours out of it. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. It is a really good phone, though, in my opinion. If it were $499, $599, I would have a lot more trouble recommending it. But at $399, it's so good at what it does. And I ordered a battery case for mine, and the iPhone 7 and 8 stuff works for it. So I got an iPhone 8 Mophie battery case for like $20 off eBay, brand new. So that'll give you twice as much time.
Good Joe. Don't listen to Dan. He should literally only record in 144p. When you have to repeat a joke because somebody laughed at you once, and you have to keep doing it over and over, that means you've... Anyway,
well, I mean, the only thing that's funny that gets repeated all the time regarding Joe is his channel that's coming in summer of 2019.
I mean, that's it. There's no comeback from that. I mean, that is it. You're just sat in the corner getting beaten up, and you can't come back from it the way it is.
It never gets old.
It never will, because it'll never happen.
You got to change it to summer of 2020.
Yeah, why not?
Leonard, if you want some more detailed information, you can go check out the videos on my YouTube channel, and you can see some some images that I took with it, and look at some of the performance stuff. But it's a good phone.
Yeah, I mean, I've not used one, but I know what it is, exactly what it is, and you just can't go wrong with $399. So, but Joe, it doesn't matter. That one doesn't matter because
it's always funny.
Came in the summer of 2019, and now you've made up this new one called Jism or something. And that's not here either. So come on,
Chasm.
Come on, Joe.
Oh, goodness gracious. Man, the time flies.
I know. Just start going on with ourselves. What else was it that's gone on today in the tech world? I think that's about it.
There's been so much stuff because we got the Microsoft products that dropped down. We've got the announcement for the WWDC is in the beginning of June, I guess.
Oh, did they? I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's going to be all online only. It's all online for the development conference. And I saw that people were talking about getting invitations for that. We have the Surface products. The Pixel Buds. They dropped this last week. They dropped Friday, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, I still think I've not heard them yet. I'm being told they sound like a lot like the Galaxy Buds.
No, the only thing that interests me about the Pixel Buds is this whole translation feature. Isn't it supposed to translate like 40 different languages or something crazy like that?
As well, and it wasn't. It's not as seamless as you would think.
Nobody talks about it. Like all these audio people that I've been seeing, nobody's talking. It's like, how are people reviewing this product or doing impressions, and they don't even bother to test out or tell you about it?
And I don't know whether you've seen about the TCL that we're getting tomorrow. They might be running pre-production firmware, so maybe it's not enabled yet. But it's got to sale, aren't they? You can buy them right now. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, new Xbox gameplay tomorrow. Xbox Series X.
What's tomorrow?
They're showing off gameplay for the Xbox Series X tomorrow.
Oh, really? Well, that'll be cool.
Yeah,
I'm probably not going to get one just because I have a really good gaming computer, and I just spent more money on this video card than the Xbox X is going to cost.
That was it a TI?
Yeah, no, I didn't get the TI. No,
to say,
no, man.
Still,
oh yeah. Anyway, so yeah, if you the important thing you need to do is you need to follow Dan and I on Twitter so you can see all the stuff that goes back and forth. It's funny because if you go check out the interactions that Dan and I have when we talk on Twitter, it's just horrible. Some of the things that goes back and forth.
And now Joe's not like stuck himself in there, so now he gets the foot up the butt. So
yeah, so yeah, we have a lot of fun on Twitter. But somebody reached out to me one time. They're like, "Man, what's up with Dan? It's like, why in the world do you talk to him like that?" I'm like, "It's just a joke. We just go back and forth." So it's fun for us. It's fun for people who are in the know. I mean, it's not like it's profanity or anything like that. But
when I was speaking to him the other day,
what's that?
He brought that up when I was speaking to him the other day.
Oh, what did he say?
He's like, I didn't know how to take it. I didn't know whether you were serious or whether it was banter. I was like, oh yeah, it's pure banter. Don't worry.
Yeah, so we have a good time making fun of each other on Twitter all the time, or the social interaction here.
It's not, as you can tell by the stream, it's not one of these let's sit here and be serious streams. I don't want any part of that. I'd rather get told I'm fat and I have a fried chicken fetish. I'm quite happy with that. So,
well, I mean, you said it.
I just laid myself bare.
I don't say anything. Yeah. Now, the whole point of this is, Dan and I have been friends online for a while, and we talk about tech stuff all the time. So with all the interaction and going back and forth on Twitter, we thought, hey, let's go ahead and we'll do a live stream. We can just do this once a week and talk about the different tech stuff. And it's great when people show up, talk in the chat, gives us an opportunity to present some information. But at the same time, talk about all the cool stuff. I mean, Wednesday night, we got to talk about the Velvet. We got to talk about TCL phones. We got to talk about the Surface Pro, all sorts of stuff. So
yeah, it's just, and the way I like it is the interaction with the people. I think it makes it. You go into a lot of live streams, and you guys don't exist, and I don't like that because you're there making that live stream what it is for me. If you guys aren't there, it's pointless live streaming. So yeah, I like the way that works with this one. It's totally, pretty much community. There you go, community based.
Yeah, and I think that's good, and that's why I always pay attention to the live feed that's going on over there, because I've been in other people's live streams, and normally it's boring AF. I was sitting there listening to somebody talk, and so basically what Dan does for 90% of this live stream, I know I talk a lot. I go through these other live streams, and it's like they don't even acknowledge the stuff in the comments. Like sometimes you'll see people that'll even do like a $5 super chat, and they not even say anything.
Yeah, I just don't. Dave, are you not getting one? Did you not get them up? Are they not coming out in the UK? The TCL phones? Oh, it has been confirmed. Are you not getting one? Because me and Adam get the Pro tomorrow.
Oh, and also Leonard, thanks. We appreciate you being here. And yeah, if you have any questions, and you can go down to the drop down on any of my videos, and you can get my email if you want to email questions. I'll get back to you there. But yeah, thanks. I've been on there. And it's interesting. He has a way of doing things. I don't know.
He does his thing, and people like it. He's successful with it.
Yeah, he's very connected. And the thing that Dan and I do, and yeah, I tried to wrap my head around it before, but it's just different. Like I do my review stuff. Dan does his review stuff.
Mhm.
We sit here and we talk about tech stuff. We don't really interview people, or we don't really talk to people. So it's not like, with Viper Stream, he's very well connected in the tech community, and he'll have other people that he comes on to his show. So, I mean, maybe that has something to do with the audience engagement, but I mean, he's actually usually interviewing and talking to other people. So, I mean, I think it's good for people to put, questions out there to try and do that. But he does a good job at what he does with regard to, how he puts information out and gets the community connected and certain things. So, everybody's stream is different.
Everybody has a different style. Everybody has a different personality. Everybody has different humor. It's just the way it is. So,
and I think that's interesting though, because when people come in on videos, it's like I have a lot of people that like my videos and my style of video, but I still get people that are like, "Hey, dude, there's not enough B-roll in there." I'm like, "Dude, it's a 10-minute video, and 30%, 35% of the video is B-roll." I mean, I can't help you there. I'm not overlaying an entire video. I mean, but some people do that. And some people, I mean, it's more entertaining, I guess, to see all the stuff, but I'm here to talk about it. And I bring in pictures and videos to show you what I'm talking about. It's not like an entire video roll.
Ryan, did you see my tweet today? I got a bigger desk. All right. I got a bigger
desk. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I did look online at
Demolition Man 2 and Hunter, and they're remaking Nighthawks as a streaming TV show.
What is
this?
Hunter?
Is so good. Hunter, you not heard of Hunter?
No, what's Hunter?
Hunter was Rambo 5. As the last Rambo that was out, it was meant to be Hunter. Hunter's been going on for about 20 years now, and what it was meant to be was Rambo, Predator, basically. There was a lab, and they're trying to mutate man and animal kind of thing, and it escapes after they've done it, and it goes crazy and kills everybody, and they send Rambo after it. So I don't know whether Hunter's still good, because the way, I don't know whether you've seen the last Rambo, but the way it ends, and I'm not going to say what happens after the credits.
He rides out on the horse.
You do it for everybody, so yeah.
I think Sylvester might have one more left in him.
A Rambo, yeah, because that film made a fortune. Did you see how much that made? It was the number one selling Blu-ray for about 6 weeks.
He's like, what is he, 77 now?
73.
Okay, he's a little bit younger than I thought, but still. I was talking to my wife about this last night. You see these people now, and there was Brad Pitt in the movie we're going to get ready to watch, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, he looks so old now." And it was like 10 years ago. And she's like, "How old is he?" I'm like, "He's like 54.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but you look at Brad Pitt, you look at Tom Cruise, you look at like Sylvester Stallone. These people are in like their 50s and their 60s and their 70s, and they're stinking in better shape than me.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, Stallone is insane when you look at him.
I get it. They've been doing this. They've been conditioning their body for 50 years. I mean, that's just never been a thing before. Never. It's never been a thing. You just get in shape, bulk up a little bit for a video, and then you're good. The only thing that doesn't age around here well is Joe Hussey's channel that was coming in summer 2019.
Nice segue.
But
that's great. I am so excited for Demolition Man 2.
I hope that all of this going on right now doesn't deprive us of like another year or two of Stallone videos, because I like them. I mean, as cheesy grabs as they are now to finish out some of his titles. I mean, have you seen like the Escape from Prison or whatever, like the third one? It's so bad.
It is.
He's doing some questionable videos, but at the same time, he's in such great shape, and he's only got a couple of years left he can do this stuff. I know he's just trying to pump stuff out right now, and it's not because he needs the money. He just loves making the movies.
Absolutely.
I mean,
he was saying Q&A, he doesn't think Rocky's finished with the Creed saga. He won't no more Rocky and Creed anymore. But he's got plans for another Rocky film,
and that would be great. I mean, even if it's just him running a gym, like
Rocky. I mean,
Rocky 1 is probably my most favorite movie of all time. I can watch it and never get tired of it. I never get tired of watching the fight scene. Whenever he's fighting, whenever he gets up, he yells, "Yo, Adrian!" It never doesn't move me at least a little bit. Even now, watching that video, having seen the original Rocky 45 times in my lifetime, I never get tired of watching it.
I love him. The Rockies, say, got me into boxing from when little kid. I'll never forget when the trailer came out for Rocky 3, and I saw it on TV when I was 7 years old. Jumped out of my bed at night and run downstairs screaming to my parents that Mr. T was in Rocky 3 and Rocky 3 was coming out. Oh, it was the best. I love Rocky. It's still on. People make fun of him, but when you look back,
I love Rocky, man.
You
and
think
Rambo too. I wish that he would I wanted to see kind of like the original Rambo and where we ended with Rambo. I love the original one so much because when it came back,
First Blood was so good.
Everybody thinks that Rambo is like a big action film movie, but if you look at the first one, it's really not that way. He's just a Vietnam Special Forces veteran that comes back
treated like dog shit. If I tell you what, if he'd have just let him have something to eat, sadly he's died now. Brian Dennehy, whatever his name was, he died a couple of weeks ago. But if Teasel would have just let Rambo have some food and a drink, we wouldn't have all these Rambos now. Let's thank Teasel.
Well, when you look back at the time period, though, and I actually, I took some history classes. I have a minor in history. I did a bunch of history stuff, and some of it was Vietnam related. The way that the people treated these veterans when they came back because they so strongly disagreed with the Vietnam War, they treated them so poorly. Mm-hmm. And there was a problem back in the 70s with vagrancy. There was a lot of these vets that were walking around and didn't have places to go. They couldn't get jobs. They had severe PTSD issues and all sorts of things. They just were not accepted by society. So the whole undertones of Rocky, when he just walks into the town with his duffel bag on his back to go
Rambo.
It just set the whole thing up. And if you understand all of that going into it, it makes a lot of sense. It's not just some guy who went crazy. There's a lot to it. So yeah, go watch the Rambo again.
Have you read the book?
No, I haven't read the book, but I know
First Blood is totally different.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, the book, he escapes from the sheriff's department and he's running around the town naked and he kills people. He literally kills people and dies in the end of it. Have you seen the alternate ending for First Blood?
I think I have. I had the director's cut a long time ago,
where he can't kill himself, so he gets
Troutman.
Troutman ends up doing it for him, kind of thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, I remember that, but I remember he's sitting there crying. He's like, "I want what these men want."
Yeah,
it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to answer a question. Hopefully, Carlos is still here. Are they RIP? Effectively, yes. I think if we're going to hear anything, it's going to be after August 31st. Once this licensing agreement, TCL has the licensing agreement for BlackBerry Mobile in the United States right now, and mostly worldwide. So until that ends, they can't really say anything. If we don't hear anything between September 1st and January 1st, then they're probably dead for good. The only way that they're really going to be able to come back is if somebody else gets the licensing agreement with them to build the product. So, and if that happens, we won't see anything for at least a year or two anyway. So I effectively, yes, right now I would not count on anything. If there's a surprise at the end of the year, then that's great, and we'll find out then. But Harmless Carl,
I hate you, Carl.
He's not so harmless. He threw $5.
Armless Carl. That's what I said to him. I said, if I ever meet him, he'll be armless Carl after I finish with him. So that's where that comes from. Just back to Stallone movies as well. Have you seen the film that he's making right now? They've had to stop, obviously, because of the plague right now. But it's called Samaritan, and he's playing a old superhero that went into, not hiding, but just disappeared.
I haven't heard about this.
And a young boy goes and searches him out. It sounds fantastic.
I'll watch anything, man.
He's great hair and the great beard. He's gone great.
I will watch any video that Sylvester Stallone makes.
I watched Stop or My Mum Will Shoot. I only watched it once.
I remember that movie. Oh, goodness.
And then did you hear the story about how he got to be in that movie?
Your man crush?
It was a bet, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
No, it was Schwarzenegger conned
Yeah,
him
he
in.
heard that he was going to be in something else, or
Yeah, he lied about it and tried to say, they've offered me this film, but I don't know whether I should do it.
yeah, that was it.
Stallone as well, and he jumped in it just thinking. And Schwarzenegger he's like, I ain't doing that. It's crap.
Yeah, and Schwarzenegger is hilarious.
Mhm.
What he used to do, especially like Lou Ferrigno, and also his rivalry going on with Stallone.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's funny because you've got Mr. Universe. Stallone was Mr. Olympia, I think 2 times. I mean, these guys were legitimate bodybuilders back in the day. And I mean, they turned into actors, basically as by proxy from their working out. And I know we're going over time right now. I'm just having so much fun talking about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there was an intense rivalry because during the 80s, I mean, you had Sylvester Stallone, you had Commando, you had Terminator, you had all those other movies that he made. And you got Sylvester Stallone, you got Rocky, you got Rambo. They were like the 2 big action stars, and they did not like each other.
No, not at all. Not for a long time.
Yeah, and it's funny because they're such good buddies now. I mean, they've got to be good friends since later on in life, but during the 80s and the 90s, I mean, they did not get along.
Big time rivals. Can you believe Schwarzenegger's making a new Conan?
Oh, he is?
Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Oh, that's great. It was a complete travesty that was never revisited.
I know. The gap, what is that, 40 years now since that was last done?
I mean, he can still do it because, I mean, he's going to be swinging a sword around and, it's medieval stuff. It's not like it's high action or anything, but they're going to have to do something. I mean, I'm sure he's got plenty of loose skin floating around now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, did you watch the last Terminator that flopped?
No, I didn't watch it. I heard it was okay.
It's really good. It's such a shame that's flopped. That is the best Terminator since Terminator 2. It's very, very good.
Yeah, I heard that. I haven't got around to watching. I will one day. I know that Linda Hamilton had to go through like basically hell to get in shape to make that because Arnold stays in shape. She wasn't somebody who sat around working out all the time, and she's it's like 65 now. So
she is so good in that.
You look at these people. Linda Hamilton has always been a really intense actor.
She is even more intense than I bet. She is so good in the new term, and Schwarzenegger is so good. His name is Carl, funnily enough, in it.
Carl?
Yeah, and he's a curtain salesman. That is just great. The story into it, how he's adapted to it. He lives with a woman and a child, but he's really a Terminator.
That's just crazy. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Your jaw is going to drop because the beginning of that film, the first 5 minutes, it takes everything you've known about Terminator and just destroys it and restarts it.
Huh, I have to see that.
It's good.
I'll get around to watching it.
Yeah, it's very good. And it's cheap as chips now. So
yeah, I'll have to go for that. It might be on HBO. I think I've got like 4 days. I think I've got like 4 days left of my HBO that I signed up for before it goes away. I'll have to take a look at it. But anyway, we're going to wrap this up. We're already almost 20 minutes over time, but thank you so much for everybody stopping tonight and then, sitting around to talk about.
It didn't sell, Dave. No one went to see it. It lost like $100 million.
Yeah, it lost a lot. And, it's so sad because
it's so good.
The first 2 Terminators are so good. And I was talking to my best friend about this the other day. Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 were so good. Like, how did the rest of the Terminators suck so bad? I mean, it's not so much that they suck. I mean, they were just kind of
James Cameron. That's why.
Yeah, well,
Cameron was involved with them. He did the first one, he did the second one, and he's done the last one with the guy who made Deadpool. Him and the guy who made Deadpool made the last one. Hence why it's so good.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is Alien is my favorite sci-fi movie ever.
Yeah, Ridley Scott.
Yeah, Alien. I mean, I like Alien. Alien is more like survival horror to me than like it's kind of like a sci-fi space horror than like shoot 'em up space horror. I mean, they're a little bit different. I mean, they're both really good in their own way, but they are fundamentally different. But then every Aliens movie after that just is so bad.
Apart from Prometheus, which is kind of an alien movie, I thought Prometheus was pretty good.
I enjoyed Prometheus, but then the Prometheus movies they made after it are like off the reservation.
Yeah, it's like, why would you do that? But I get it. Ridley Scott did Prometheus, right?
Yeah, but he came back and did the second one.
He did? I didn't even see the second one because everyone said it sucked. So I didn't bother.
Yeah,
I can talk about movies all night, just as much as I can talk about tech.
We'll have to start another streaming channel. So we'll do tech from 7:30 to 8:30, and then 8:30 to 9:30 we'll talk about movies.
Terrible.
Oh goodness. Anyway, thanks again, everyone, for showing up. It was a great time as always. We appreciate y'all being here. We like the feedback and the input, all the great stuff. So thanks for being great, and we'll see y'all next week.
Adios.
Later.